Hey guys, great to be back with you all again today. We're going to be talking about problem solving today. And we're going to be talking about a wide variety of skills, really. We're going to be talking about 3.4a and k and 3.5a and b. And that's problem solving with all operations, basically what it is. And the I can statements is I can choose the correct operation to solve a word problem, and I can use the correct strategies to solve to problem solve. So we're going to look at some of the vocabulary. Since we're using all operations, that would be addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Those are the four operations we use in math. And we have for addition, we have add in are the two numbers we put together to get our sum, which is our answer. And minuend and subtrahend and difference. Difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. There's a community property of addition. That means I can switch the numbers around and still get the same sum. That's not a fact with subtraction, though. There's specific order. We always start with a larger number in third grade and take away a smaller number from that to get a whole number or a positive number. Multiplication vocabulary. You know, it's factor, those two numbers we put together in our multiplication to get our product. And there's a community property of multiplication, which means we can switch numbers around. 5 times 4 is also 20. And division vocabulary, dividend, divisor, quotient. Quotient's the answer to a division problem. And we cannot switch around. I cannot say that 5 divided by 40 equals 8. That would not be a true statement. So there's a specific order way we divide things, just like subtraction. They're very similar. Have a few videos we're going to watch about these skills. We'll watch one of Aaron's videos talking about how to solve problems using different operations and stuff. So let's go ahead and get ready for those videos.
When reading a word problem, there are often clue words that help us identify the operation that needs to be performed. Let's improve our understanding of word problems by spotting clue words. Luca went to the bakery and purchased 5 cookies, 3 cupcakes, and 2 brownies. What is the total number of desserts that Luca purchased? Did you spot the clue? The word total lets us know that we are looking for the combined number of desserts. So we need to add together the number of cookies, cupcakes, and brownies. The total is 10 desserts. Suppose the question was, what is the difference between the number of cookies and the number of brownies that Luca purchased? Do you see the clue word? The clue word here is difference. We must find the difference between the number of cookies and brownies. This means we must subtract 5 minus 2. So he bought 3 more cookies than brownies. Let's look at another word problem. A teacher plans to split his 24 students into 3 equal groups. How many students will be in each group? Are there any clues here? In this problem, we are looking to split an amount into equal groups. When we split something into equal groups, we are dividing. What if a different teacher already split his class into 4 groups of 5? How many students were in that teacher's class? Can you find the clue word? The clue word here is of. Of is a clue word that often means to multiply. Great! This table summarizes some clue words for the 4 arithmetic operations. Can you think of any more? In this lesson, you learned how to identify clues to the type of operation needed to solve a word problem.
Third grade concept of two-digit by one-digit multiplication. This is standard 3.4G in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 2 off the 2016 released STAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, and then unpause it. We will look at our answers together. So we have members of a gym. They use 98 towels every day, and how many towels are used in 7 days? So we have two simple numbers here. We've got 98 and we've got 7. So every single day, so if I wanted to say this box is a day, then they're going to use 98 towels. And assuming they use the same number every single day, well, it looks like I'm going to have 7 groups of 98. Now, if I wanted to, I could add those numbers. Repeated addition would work, but that would be kind of long and hard. So let's look at different ways that we can do two-digit by one-digit multiplication. Now, this first one I want to show you works just fine. It might not be the way your parents know how to do it, but your teacher probably showed you how to use partial products. And it gets the correct answer just like the standard algorithm does. What partial products does is we take our 98, we take our 7, we're going to multiply them vertically here, but we're going to take each place value separately. So first we're going to look at this 8 times 7. Now this is a multiplication fact, we've got to know our facts. So I'm going to assume that you know your fact, and we know that 8 times 7 is 56. We're just going to write it both right down there. Now we're going to take our one-digit number down here, and we're going to multiply it by the other number. Now here's the thing, this 9 right here, this is in the tens place, right? The 8 is in the ones place, the 9 is in the tens place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 right there in the ones place, because when I'm writing down my partial products, I want my answer to start for the second number in the tens place right here, because this 9 starts in the tens place. It's really 90, not really 9. But now I'm going to multiply 9 times 7, and that's going to be 63. And so that's why that 0 was very important, because that 9 is really 90. So if I did 90 times 7, you would see that it is going to be 630. That's what we needed. And then you just add those up. You got two partial products. You add those up, and you are going to get 686. Now, your parents are probably familiar with what we call the standard algorithm. Standard just means the normal or the traditional way. It's going to be very similar. We're just going to do one thing separate. 98 times 7. So we're going to say 56, but we're going to regroup just like we do with adding. Instead of putting that 5 down in the tens place, we're going to put it up here, up above this 5. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky. You need to multiply these two numbers first. We don't have to worry about a 0 now, because there's already a 6 in the ones place. So our answer, 63, is already going to start in the tens place, so that's good. But we multiply first, but then we have to add that 5 back in, these 5 tens that came from the 56. So it's going to be 63 is what 9 times 7 is. Then we got to add that 5 back in, and eventually you can kind of do it mentally. And so we've got 686. So you could either do it standard algorithm, or you could do it with partial products, but either way, you're going to get 686. Now, where do some of these incorrect answers come from? Well, 636. Watch what happens if I don't know how to regroup. If I go 98 times 7, and I'm just going to say 8 times 7 is 56, but I don't know what to do with the 5, so I'm just going to throw it away. 9 times 7 is 63. That's how we get 636. To get 14, we have to take our 98 and we have to divide it by 7. And that's actually going to get you 14. And that's how we get our 91. We take our 98, but rather than dividing, we just subtract, and we get our 91. So you can subtract, you can divide, you can multiply, you can get incorrect answers, but our answer is going to be H686.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and work out two-digit by one-digit multiplication problem. So the technique we're working on is dealing with two-digit by one-digit multiplication. And the problem we're going to work on is 24 times 3. So 24 times 3. The first way we're going to do it is we're going to use a concrete model. We're going to do base 10 blocks. And we're going to model 24 times 3 using base 10 blocks. And this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to do, that's 20. And 4 units will make 24. So that's one time. That's 20. And 4 two times. And 20. (24) 3 times. So this is just a concrete way of modeling 24 times 3. So to figure that, to work this out, we just basically count our base 10 blocks the way we normally would. That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. So 24 times 3 equals 72. So we're going to do a pictorial model for this also. So basically, I'm going to draw base 10 blocks to represent 24 times 3. So I would go ahead and draw, this side, draw a 10 long. So that's 20, and my units are dots. 4, that's once. 24 twice. And 24 3 times. And we count it the same way. That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, and 72. So 24 times 3 is 72. Just model it a different way. Next way we're going to do it, we're going to do this kind of called an area model or a partial product way. So I'm going to draw a rectangle that's going to represent 23 times 4 or 24 times 3, and that would give me, I'd do my 3 rows and actually did it a little bit better. So I could break that down. I could break 24 down into 20 plus 4. So this area in my shape right here would be 3 times 20, and 3 times 2 is 6. And I put my 0 to mark my place value, so 3 times 20 is 60. And this area right here would be 3 by 4 because opposite sides of rectangles are the same length. So 4 times 3 is 12. So to solve that, I would go ahead and do 60 plus 12, and 60 plus 12 is 72. Okay, and that's an area model or partial product way of solving it. And we'll go ahead. This is also called partial product, and we'll do this up here. So we would do 24 times 3. The first thing I would do is I would do 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. And then I would do 3 times 20, and 3 times 20 is 60. And we call it partial product because we have the product of 3 times 4 and the product of 3 times 20. And then all we have to do is add that up. And that is 72. And the standard algorithm way, and this is the way that we want third graders to be able to do this by the end of third grade, or sooner by the end of this lesson. We want them to be able to do 24 times 3. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply 3 times 4. And 3 times 4 is 12. And I'm regrouping right here. And then I'm going to multiply 3 times 20, or 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. So 24 times 3 is 72. And these are, just a few different ways that you can do two-digit by one-digit multiplication. Looks like we have the concrete way, pictorial way, area model way, partial product, and the standard algorithm for doing 2-digit by 1-digit multiplication problems. Okay, we got a problem right here. The problem we have is 4 times 16. And 4 times 16, you see I've done an array over here to model 4 times 16. And that'd take quite a while to count up. And we could definitely go through and count each one. Or we could do the standard algorithm. We'll try the standard algorithm along with this. But I'm going to show you a little trick where we can distribute the numbers a little bit different to make it problem just a little bit easier. So 16 is an even number. That means I can divide it by 2. So if I divide 16 by 2, that gives me 8. And if I divide that by 2, that means to make it the same problem, that means I'd have to double the 4. And 4 times 2 is 8. So that'd be the same thing as 8 times 8. And we know 8 times 8 is 64. So that means that 4 times 16 would be 64 too. And this is what it would look like if I just move my array around and I cut it in half and I'm basically doubling it. So now now I have an array of 8. So you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be the same amount. And we'll do the 16 times 4 using the standard algorithm. So I'm not going to use community property. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 16 times 4. And we know that on the standard algorithm, we multiply the ones place by the ones place, and 6 times 4 is 24. And I carry my 2. I'll put a little plus sign here so I don't forget that I need to add the 4, or add the 2 when I'm multiplying my tens place. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply my ones place by my tens place. And that's 4 times 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 2 is 6. So that equals 64. So 16 times 4 is 64. Or 4 times 16 equals 64. Okay, we're going to look at a couple problems here and we kind of associate this multiplication problem to money. So for 8 times 25, so 8 times 25, if I think of 25 as a quarter, and if I think about 8 quarters, so I would look at 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters is $1, so 4 more would be $2. So 8 times 25 would equal 200. Okay, and we can go ahead and work out that problem just like using our standard algorithm. So that's 25 times 8. We know 8 times 5 is 40. So I'm going to add the 4 there. And 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 17, 18, 19, 20. So 8 times 25 is 200. We'll go ahead and look at 5 times 20. When we say 5 times 20, I know 20 nickels equals $1, so 5 times 20 would be 100. Okay, or I could also say 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is equal to 10, and then I put my 0 to mark my place value. So 5 times 20 is 100. And we'll do a little bit more difficult here. I got 4 times 24. And I can think about money still. If 4 times 24, I know 4 times 25, 4 quarters is $1. So I could say 4 times 24 would be equal to 100 minus one group of 4, which would equal 96. So 4 times 24 equals 96. And we go and work that out using our standard algorithm. So that'd be 24 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. Then 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So 24 times 4 is 96. Okay, we're going to look at a few of these guided practice problems. Follow along as I read. Which is another way to find the product of 54 and 6? And we have 4 different choices down here. So the first step we're going to do on this, we're going to actually figure out what is the product of 54 and 6. So what is the answer to 54 times 6? Okay, let's check and see. We'll do the standard algorithm. So that's 54 times 6. Multiply 6 times 4 first. 6 times 4 is 20. So I'm going to add that after I multiply by tens place. And then 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 would be 32. So it's 324. So let's go ahead and work out the different answer choices. So answer choice A, the sum of 50 times 6 and 4 times 6. What is the sum of 50 times 6 and 4 times 6? Okay, let's check and see. I know 50 times 6, all I have to do is multiply 5 times 6, and 5 times 6 is 30. And then I put the 0 to mark my place value. So 50 times 6 would be 300, and I know 4 times 6 is 24. So that would be 324. Okay, answer choice B, the sum of 50 plus 4 plus 50 plus 6. What is the sum of 50 plus 4 plus 50 plus 6? Okay, let's check it out. I know that 50 plus 50 is 100, and I know 4 plus 6 is 10, so 100 plus 10 would be 110. Okay, let's go ahead and look at answer choice C. Go ahead and tell me what the sum of 54 plus 54 plus 54 plus 54 plus 54 is. Okay, we'll check that out. I have 50, 50, 50, 50, and 50, so that's 50 times 5. I know 5 times 5 is 25, so 55 times 5 would be 250. And then I know 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, so that's 5 fours. 5 times 4 is 20. So 250 plus 20 would be 270. And the last one, the quotient of 54 and 6. Okay, yeah, I know that 6 times 9 equals 54. So 54 divided by 6 would have to be 9. So looking at my answer choices, I can see that 54 times 6 is 324, and answer choice A matches that. So that would be another way to calculate 54 times 6. Okay, the next question, it says, which is another way to find the product of 22 times 8? So we'll go ahead and work that out. What is 22 times 8? Okay, let's check and see if that's right. So that's 22 times 8 using the standard algorithm. I do 8 times 2 is 16. And 8 times 2 is 16 again, plus 1 more would be 17. So 22 times 8 is 176. 176. So we'll go ahead and look at the answer choices, and we'll work out the answer choices. So answer choice A, what is the sum of 2 plus 2 plus 8? Okay, that's right. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus another 2 would be 12. Next answer choice, the sum of 20 times 8 and 2 times 8. Okay, let's check it out. I know 20 times 8, it would be the same thing as 8 times 2. That'd be with a 0 to mark the place value, which would be 160, plus 2 times 8 is 16. So 160 plus 16 would be 176. Next, answer choice C, the sum of 2 times 8 and 2 times 8. Okay, let's check it out. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 2 times 8 is 16 again, and 16 plus 16 equals 32. And the last one, the sum of 22 times 1 and 8 times 1. Okay, let's check that out. 22 times 1 would be 22, and 8 times 1 would be 8, and 22 plus 8 would equal 30. So I look at my answer choices. Answer choice B has the same answer as 22 times 8, so answer choice B would be the way to answer that. Okay, it's time again to complete your independent practice. Please complete your Schoology assignment that's below this. I'll put a PDF in there that you can print out and work it out on your own if you prefer to do that. And but just make sure you put it in Schoology. Take your time and do your very best. This is how we check to make sure you understand the lessons that we taught. And if you have any questions about the lessons or something doesn't seem like it's working like it's supposed to, please email your teacher or send them a message on Schoology. Do your best, and we'll talk to you later.